Yes, good morning, student. So today we discussing or we learn about the second shading algorithm, that is the Phong shading. So in a last video we have studied the grounded shading algorithm. In that grounded shading algorithm, or the purpose or the use of grounded shading algorithm, that is the it can be used to remove the intensity discontinuity between the adjacent plane of the surface representation by the linearly varying the intensity over the each plane. So in this video we studied or we are going to study the Phong shading. So when we considering the Phong shading, this Phong shading methods involves approximation of the surface normal at each point at, at each point along with the scan line, and then we calculating the intensity using the approximated normal vector at that point. That means when we considering this method works with the surface normal at each point along with the scan line and then we calculating the intensity using the approximation or approximated normal vector at that point. So when we considering this Phong shading algorithm performing the three different steps. In that step first, determine the average of unit normal vector. When we considering the average of unit normal vector, this average unit normal vector is with respect to each polygon of that image or of that image surfaces. Then next goes to the step 2, linearly interpolate the vertex normal over the surfaces of polygon. And step 3, apply illumination model along each scan line. That means when we considering apply the illumination model along each scan line, here we just calculate the pixel intensity of each scan line. Right, here we performing the three different steps. First one, determine the average of unit normal vector of each polygon surfaces. Step 2, linearly interpolate to the vertex normal out of the surface of the polygon. And step 3, apply the illumination model along each scan line. That means we calculating the pixel intensity of each scan line. Here we considering the simple example like this one. Here we considering this surface, right, this surface, and here we considering this is the scan line, this is the C A B, right, and here we find out the normal of this point, right, and this point is the intersection in between A to AB, right. This is the NA normal at point A. This is the NC normal point C. This is the NB. This is the normal. That means it is the normal with respect to the vertices or with respect to vertex. Right. Here we finding to find the normal vector and for scan line intersection point along the edges between the point A and B, right? This is not a point, this is the vertex, right? Here we are finding the normal for this point, and this normal is the N, and this is the intersection in between the vertex A and B and the scan line. Okay. So when we are considering this point, right, it can be obtained by vertically interpolating between the each 8 point normals. That means here we are considering the vertically interpolating between the each endpoint normal. So here we are considering N is equal to Y minus YB, YA minus YB into NA. This is the normal at vertex A plus YA minus Y divided by YA minus YB into NB. So by using this, so this is the slope which can be find out, this is the slope with respect to vertical axis, and when we're considering the vertical axis we're considering the y coordinate, and so by using this we can find the normal value of this point. So in a last algorithm we considering the polygon surfaces and we considering the surface vector, but in this form shading we considering the vertex normal, right? And by using this vertex normal we find out the intensity of this point, right? So when we are considering this point, this is the intersection point with respect to HAB and scan line. This here we having the two vertices A and B. It's having the specific normal, and so by using this we find out the normal of that specific point. So when we considering the some points or some advantages for this form shading, the first advantages is this method is the time consuming because the illumination model is evaluated at every point using this normal vector. So using this normal with respect to these vertices. Okay, so hence we study the function. Thank you.